So I really hope that Type Moon and French Bread, they will wake up and they will have something at least done in the first quarter of 2022. Because if they don't do anything about it, the game will go into irrelevancy. There are so many heavy hitters coming this year, and there are so many old games getting revived in 2022. So what chance do you stand? Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Bachiru. So let's talk about multiplayer Type Lumina and why, in my opinion, this game, if they like the developers and Type Moon, they don't get their act straight, this game is on its way to irrelevancy. To be honest, I feel like this is a sinking ship and they need to fix things ASAP, otherwise this game, because for me currently I have zero interest to play multiplayer Type Lumina, and I don't want this video to come off as a ranty hater video. It's the other way around actually. I was really excited to play multiplayer Type Lumina, and I was deeply disappointed actually when I got the game in my own two hands. I've bought 3 versions of the game. Okay. So let's talk about a little bit like why I feel like, what's in my opinion what they're doing wrong actually, and what do they need to do right in order to save this game, because it's a shame to revive such a legacy fighting game and such a good backing from Type Moon, like money wise. It's a shame that this game might die soon. So let's talk about this now, and definitely guys, I want to hear your opinions in the comment section below. There's a main problem with multi-blood Type Lumina, and that it's following a very Japanese design mentality. I mean it actually in the negative way, quite honestly, because this game was never beta tested. This game was announced, disappeared, suddenly we got information like at the very last minute. So I feel like this game was made with Japanese audiences in mind, and this is like reflected not only like in the visual design, which is for me, it's okay. That's how it is, you know. That's they're like French, but they're actually just working with the IP, so they don't really get to choose like what they do with the character designs. It's all Type Moon, you know. But it's not only about the design of the characters and the looks. This is nonsense. It's the game design itself, the network mode, and the appeal of the game in general. So let's break this down little by little. So when it comes to visual design, to be honest, I only have one problem with the game, which is the Dead Apostle Noel. I really hate that design. Like, it's like they don't want people outside of Japan to like this game. Look, I don't want to get too much details into it, but this is 2022, and if you want your game to get a broader global appeal, you need to take some reservations in mind. This is a multicultural, multi-religious, multi-blah blah blah world, you know, so we have to be realistic and we have to little bit set the boundaries. So for me, a character like Dead Apostle Noel, she works in Japan only because they have the plot armor, you know, and it's like she's an older character. They make her look young. Don't dress her like that. That's not okay. You know, that's I'll use the word in Arabic. That's haram. Sorry. Yeah. So for me, this is my only gripe actually, because the non-dead Apostle Noel, she's a great character. Her design is amazing. Her character is pretty good, and the gameplay is really fun. So I'm sure when it comes to French Bread, they will make the gameplay amazing, because these people are really talented and they know what they're doing when they're making fighting games. But again, they're restricted by the IP they're working with, so they have to follow whatever Type Moon wants them to follow, which is quite unfortunate, to be honest. I wish, like, for sure they will work on their own game, like Underground. But whatever, that's another topic for another day. The other thing is that when it comes to older like anime fighting games, they're usually tested in the arcade in Japan. Then they actually get rolled out to console, and there was usually like a really huge time gap between us getting the game like worldwide and the Japanese getting it. Like if I remember correctly, like Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma, there was like a 6 months gap for us to get the game, you know, and for us we get the Japanese version. But when you boot up a game like Multiplayer Type Lumina and you play the online mode, even though it has rollback netcode, there's one thing that becomes immediately apparent. This game was never tested, you know, and until now there's a lot of problems with the rollback netcode. But my main problem is that actually, I feel like the developers, like, alright, they acknowledge that they're gonna work on this and they're putting the right effort, but why you don't do this before the game gets released? And the other thing is that, okay, even if you've tested it, do you only test it within Japan? Because if you watch some like of the Japanese tournaments, it runs fine. They have godlike internet. You know, every game runs amazing in Japan. I've went to Japan. I've played online. all the games run amazing, even delay-based games, you know. So at least they're trying to fix the netcode for now. So that's something that I'm quite actually hopeful about. So if they fix the netcode, I will actually jump back and play the game. The third thing is that actually is like not only the netcode is bad in this game, it's actually the network performance. So the network mode itself. So lobbies on PC are region locked. It's very hard to find matches. The long wait time. There is no open lobby. The search parameters are a little bit janky. So even when you enter a player match, you don't have like really options to play free for all or something. It feels all like this is a 2021 game, and the online system is like from 2010 or 2011. It's like rollback, but for Street Fighter 4, you know. So what the hell? Come on, yani. You need to understand that in a post-COVID world where people don't play offline as much as they used to, you have to put priority into online. And I feel like online for this game was really, really, really neglected, which is kind of shame. The fourth point I want to touch up on is game balance. Now that the game had few months actually just to be played and things to be figured out, I feel like this should not be the priority yet, but they need to understand that they need to a little bit to rework the game balance. Shielding is very strong in this game, and high level players who tell you, oh, you just need to learn how to counterplay shield, blah blah blah, nonsense. In my humble opinion, this is nonsense. It's a very powerful mechanic, and type like Frenchware, they need to find a way to a little bit tone it down, because from the beginner to the intermediate level of the game, you're highly encouraged to use shield actually, because it's a mechanic that's easy to use and the reward is high. And if you want to get to a higher level, you need actually to learn how to counterplay it. They should not really make it irrelevant, that they just need to balance it a little bit. I don't know how they will do it. Maybe they will not make it like as fast as it should be. Maybe it will consume more moon gauge. I don't know, whatever. I'm not a game designer. I don't know how they will balance this, you know. So for me, this is my biggest issue. The other thing is that they need to maybe a little bit work on the mates and works on Shiki, because these two characters, when I watch tournaments, they're really strong. Noelle is a secret hidden boss, but she has a high learning curve, so don't touch her. She's my main, you know. So with all that said, what does Frenchware need to work on? Number one, I think they need to prioritize the netcode over anything else. I don't think DLC should be a priority right now. I feel like they need to dedicate their time and resources just to fix the netcode, because believe me, 2022 is a year with very big hitters, you know. So we have King of Fighters 15, you have the NF Duel, you still have Guilty Gear Strive going strong, you have BlazBlue Central Fiction, it will come out of beta soon, you have BlazBlue Cross Stack Battle, we're getting a rollback soon, there are hints of Dragon Ball Fighters rollback. So with all these heavy hitter games that are having like amazing netcode, so what chance do you stand? No matter how fun your gameplay is, you know. It's a niche game. So if you want it to not be a niche game anymore, make it run amazingly online so we can recommend it to people. I can't recommend this game in good conscience to my friends, to be honest. Like, we bought it. I regret it, to be honest. Sometimes. Like, why I spend money to buy a game that's not yet ready? For other people, they're having like different levels of this kind of experience. But for me, in general, across the board, I don't have issues with Strive and I don't have issues with BBCF. Why I keep having issues with Multi-Blood? Maybe. We'll see how they will actually tackle this one. The other thing is that I feel like the next thing they need to work on actually is the network mode performance. Because like the regional lobbies, a little bit searching being finicky, very limited options within player matches. I feel like all of this needs to be looked into. Because, okay, the game now runs fine online. You need to be able to get matches, you know, so maybe a little bit they need to work on the matchmaking and the overall experience when you're in the lobbies. Because I feel like this is a fun game. It's just badly designed from a like from a performance standpoint. Yeah. The third thing actually is game balance. I will not touch much on it. I just hope that like I feel like all the characters are strong in this game. I feel like there's a lot of things to be discovered. Just remove the bullshit. That's all I'm gonna say. And don't make the hitboxes so ignorant in this game, you know, for some characters. The final thing, which I really like actually, that they're doing it in a positive way, is DLC characters. So I'm happy that we're getting free DLC characters. But again, the DLC should not be a priority right now for this game. And they should not make DLC to hide the other issues in the game, you know, because like they released Dead Apostle Noel. If you like Dead Apostle Noel, you know who you are. But if you didn't like it, there was a lot of backlash actually, and nothing to do with the gameplay. It's all visual design. Then I feel like Type Moon and Finch are like, okay, we want to make amends. We want to make things better. They go ahead and they release like the trailer for Aoko, and by the way, you get Aoko, the most requested character. She's for free, and like, what are you trying to make people forget? You know, I'm like, oh my god, and people are crying over the announcement. Okay, don't do this dirty tactics. You know, like just acknowledge that you want to prioritize fixing those things in your game first. So yeah, guys, for me that's it. The final thing I want to say actually is that I feel like Multiblade Type Lumina right now, it's going in the same path as another game that's unfortunately little by little becoming irrelevant, and it's unfortunate that the developers for that game didn't do anything actually to rescue it, and it's Granblue Fantasy Versus, because I feel like they're heading the same way. The problem was with the Granblue is they never really expanded on the game mechanics themselves. They kept the game mechanics as themselves, but they kept releasing frequent balance patches, and all they did was release DLC characters. They didn't like do changes from season 1 to season 2. And a lot of fighting games right now, that's the direction they're going, is they will shift the meta, they will add mechanics. So Granblue had a very strong like what they call IP behind it. Like, it's Cygames, it's Granblue, you know, but they didn't do much with it, you know. The game was fun actually. The game is really fun, but it grows stale after a while, and the netcode is garbage. You see what I'm trying to say, you know. So even though you have this strong like this strong IP and this strong backing behind you, you're not taking advantage of all of that. So some of that money would have better been allocated to fixing the netcode, to improving the game mechanics, to little bit shift the meta. Because I feel like the current less balanced patch of Granblue Fantasy Versus, like, they buffed everyone. And the game seems like maybe it's in a good spot right now, but am I gonna boot it up to play it? No way. I can't get a decent match online, so why am I gonna bother to do that? And I have no one in my circle of friends who want to play the game offline. So I really hope that Type Moon and French Bread, they will wake up and they will have something at least done in the first quarter of 2022. Because if they don't do anything about it, the game will go into irrelevancy. There are so many heavy hitters coming this year, and there are so many old games getting revived in 2022. So what chance do you stand? Alright guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know your opinion in the comment section below. I'll catch you in the next video. Yalla, peace.